I wanted to be at Texas State. I chose to be at Texas State. I'm from Texas. That was important to me. I always knew if the right guy got this job, you better watch out.
You better watch out. This is Win Now or Get Bent, episode 178. If you don't already know, I'm Kev Chardello, coming to you on Sunday, November 17th. And the Bobcats are bowl eligible before UTSA and UNT. That's right. Let's be petty right at the top. Bobcats get that 6th win. They absolutely crushed the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, crushed them 58-3, a 55-point blowout on homecoming to become bowl eligible, set a program record for yards in a game with 703. Just wow. Just wow. All around wows. I'm jumping into this episode. I was starting to do prep and I was like, I don't need any prep for this one. We're going off vibes and stats on this one. So should be a fun one. I am very excited to talk about that game, talk about the Bobcats getting bowl eligible, and then jumping in the river once again. What a crowd, huge crowd for this one. It's turning into a tradition now because it's happened a second time. Now it's a tradition. Last year was the first time. Now it's a tradition. How about that? Nice college football tradition here at Texas State, creating traditions. You guys remember when we talked about that? It was a little while ago. It's probably a couple years ago. But creating traditions like that and even bringing back old ones with the Hoka parade. I didn't even know what that was, but I guess they did it and I missed it. But I got next time they do it, I'll be there for sure. I imagine that's a homecoming situation. I'll make sure to check it out next year. But what a time. What a week. Texas State also celebrated the 125th anniversary of the school with an awesome drone show at UFCU Stadium. It was incredible stuff. I had to catch the videos and everything, sick kids, as I was saying, but it was pretty incredible. I wish I was there. A Josh Abbott concert as well. I mean, what a week for Texas State. Fantastic stuff. We haven't even gotten to the sponsors, though, so let's do that, and we'll talk more about these Bobcats. This episode is brought to you by First Lockhart National Bank. As the largest financial institution headquartered in Caldwell County, First Lockhart National Bank expanded to San Marcos in 2018 and opened a state-of-the-art branch on Hunter Road in 2020. For the past 6 years, FLNB has provided a wide range of financial services that have significantly improved the quality of life for the San Marcos community and beyond. Whether you need a personal or business checking account, business loan, or home mortgage, they've got you covered. Plus, they offer innovative services like video banking, business banking, and a top-of-the-line mobile banking app. FLNB is also a huge supporter of Tech State football, standing out as one of the largest initial investors in NIL deals for Bobcats players. Be sure to follow them on Twitter, X, at First Lockhart, and on Instagram, at First Lockhart. Shout out to my guy, Gil Hodges, Senior Vice President at FLNB in MLS number 2475765, a proud Tech State grad and a diehard fan. We are thrilled to be partnering with Gil and FLNB all season long. You can find them at 2507 Hunter Road. That's 2507 Hunter Road, or give them a call at 512-504-7422. Again, that's 512-504-7422. First Lockhart National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions may vary. Hey, Bobcat Nation. Looking for your next real estate move? McNabb and Company Real Estate Services has been proudly Bobcat owned and operated for over 15 years. They're your go-to team for buying, selling, investing, and managing properties and everything else in between. Whether you're a fan or an alum, they've got the local expertise and full service support you need. Call them today at 512-667-9129. That's 512-667-9129, or visit them at mcnabbandco.com. That's MCNABB, mcnabbandco.com. McNabb and Company, where Bobcats find their home. Give them a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and X at McNabb & Co. Thank you to Monica Katz, a day one Bobcat supporter. Now she's partnering with us this season. Check them out again. That's mcnabbandco.com, MCNABB, mcnabbandco.com. And look out for our on-location episode at Zellick's Ice House, the best little ice house in Texas. That's happening this Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Come on out if you're around. Come hang out with us. We'll be doing, well, it won't be a live show. It'll be a pre-recorded show, but you could be there live and you can watch it be recorded live. We'll make sure if you show up, we'll have a nice little Q&A, and we'll also have some special guests. I can't reveal any of that yet, but But buckle up. It'll be a fun one. That's Wednesday, Zelix in San Marcos, 6 to 8 p.m. Come on out. Shout out to Monica. That's awesome that we're setting that up. I am so excited for that. We met up at Zelix on Thursday last week, planned it all out, looked at it. They're gonna have nice lighting and everything. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a fun night. So come check us out. And one more for the triumphant return to Austin Patchmaster. Our guys at Austin Patchmaster. Drywall, sheetrock, plaster repair, cracked walls, cracked ceilings, painting, dings and dents, popcorn ceiling removal. They can even fix that hole you punched in your wall after that Sam Houston loss that you've been meaning to fix. Whether you're moving in, moving out, or just looking to upgrade, Austin Patchmaster has you covered. Owned and operated by Tech State grad and a true Tech State sicko, Michael Clements. Austin Patchmaster is one of our first sponsors, and they are back to finish out this season. Check them out at austin.patchmaster.com. Again, that's austin.patchmaster.com. And you can call them at 512-200-3888. That's 512-200-3888. And if you're in Houston, Dallas, it's a franchise, you call them, they can get you a referral. Michael Clements can get you hooked up with the best person to service you and help you fix your drywall issues. Thank you to Michael Clements for jumping back in. What a great time he jumped in right when the Bobcats jumped in the river. Impeccable timing, my guy. Welcome back into the fold. Check them out again. That's austin.patchmaster.com. All right, let's get to these Bobcats. Looking at my notes, it's a little daunting because all I have are ad reads. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this game for Texas State. Homecoming, Southwest Texas State, throwback uniforms. I was talking before the game with some people, and I was saying, sometimes it hadn't gone right in these SWT uniforms, and this finally feels like the night that they can really assert themselves while wearing these unis, because those uniforms are beautiful. I am very, very biased when I say this, but they are the best throwback uniforms in college football. I am extremely biased. Don't come at me with all these other examples. I don't care. That's just how I feel, and nothing will change my mind. They look fantastic. They look so clean, and they kicked a lot of butt wearing them on Saturday night. I'll tell you that. That was great stuff. We went into the game. If you listen to the preview episode, 50-17 was my prediction. And that was even after that episode, I was like, gosh, I don't know if I've ever said 50-17 for a game prediction. That seems outrageous. That might have been too much. And it wasn't enough. 58-3. I underestimated the Bobcats. They went out there and they outplayed my expectations in this game. That was incredible. This was obviously a very downtrodden opponent. We talked all about it. They let go of their coach in October. They let go of their offensive coordinator this week. We saw the issues that they were having with quarterback. They started Ethan Cropper, but then we'd see Tate Rodemaker get in there, the FSU transfer. Neither was that effective. We'd see Crawford get a little bit on the ground with things going. You could see Rodemaker has a good arm, but there's just a lot of factors going into that program, and the Bobcats are very, very talented, as we got to see. Let's go through the scoring of this game. I know I do have that. I do have the scoring right here. They scored early and often, so we'll talk all about it. First quarter, right off the bat, Bobcats take the opening kickoff, 12 plays, 87-yard drive, 4 minutes, 49 seconds off the clock, 11-yard touchdown catch by Ish Madi. It immediately felt good. I was just like, that was a nice long drive to start the game. It ended with a touchdown. We all know this team, they gotta start early. That's how they gotta go. If they don't get it going right off the bat, it's probably not gonna catch up later. And they got it going early. They got the ball back. They had another touchdown drive. Might be my favorite touchdown drive of the season. 7 plays, 88 yards, 2 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock. Wasn't necessarily a drive, but it was how it ended with a 23-yard touchdown to Connor Fox. Tight end right there. I've been calling for that exact play all year, and there it was. It's a thing of beauty. Great catch by Connor Fox. It was the same situation where they tried to do it, and he couldn't quite haul it in, ready to turn his body kind of at the last second. He turned his body, and he made the catch on this one. It's great stuff. A lot of great angles on it. Roy Burkhart had some great pictures of it on Twitter. I saw that. That was great. Shout out to Roy. Always going to Texas State games, supporting the Bobcats. Great dude there. But yes, so Bobcats 14-0. And in my head, I'm like, wow, they did it. This is 14-0 first quarter. That's what they love to do. We've seen them do this quite a bit. And then they one-upped it 21-0 after a 5-play, 41-yard drive that was capped with a 10-yard touchdown by Brad Jackson. Big Brad Jackson back out there. Jordan McLeod threw the first 2 touchdowns. They kind of did what they did last week, cycled in Brad Jackson a little bit. Wasn't as frequent in the first half, but it definitely was in the second half. We saw Brad Jackson punch in that touchdown. He made his collegiate debut last week. That's 3 touchdowns in his collegiate debut, 3 rushing touchdowns, and he wasn't done. We'll keep going. Get to the second quarter. Southern Miss only points of the game, 46-yard field goal with 10:22 left in the second quarter. That's all they were able to muster the entire game. It was after a 13-play, 46-yard drive. It took them 13 plays to get 46 yards. This defense was dominant. And that D line, they're missing quite a bit of pieces. We mapped it out a little bit on the last episode. GJ Kinney said Stephen Parker out for the year. That was the team leader in sacks. Incarnate Word transfer, absolutely crushing it. Beginning of the year when it was him and Ben Bell, it was like, how can you stop either of this? It's crazy to look up, and they don't have either, but they're still being pretty dominant, still doing great things. We saw Devin Wright. We mentioned him in the last one. We hadn't seen him all season. He got out there last game. So it was good to see number 11 get on that D line when they're missing some pieces and they're able to bring some in and get some back with Devin Wright. I'm pretty sure that was his first game back. It was the first time I've seen him play, I should say. So after that field goal, it's 21-3. Bobcats, they got right back to it. 49 seconds later, they put a 4-play, 70-yard drive, all passes from Jordan McLeod right down the field, ended on a 29-yard beautiful pass to Jaden Williams, deep middle of the end zone, right in the breadbasket. 27-3 after a missed PAT by Mason Shipley. Got to check in on our guy Shipley. He recovered a little bit in this game. It was the only PAT he missed, and I'm pretty sure he ended up making a field goal. Thought he did. Yeah, he did. Now I'm looking down, getting ahead of myself there on that. But 27-3. We have to wait a little while till right before halftime for the Bobcats score again. I think this is where they exchanged interceptions, actually. Now that I'm thinking on it, that's why there's a little bit of time between that last touchdown by the Bobcats and the next one. Jordan McLeod interception, followed that by an interception for Texas State. Trez Moore, nice pick by him. He's been looking really good at that corner position, number 24, that UTEP transfer. He got the ball back for the Bobcats. They're able to drive again. Another quick drive from Jordan McLeod. 4 plays, 74 yards, 40 seconds. That's two 40-second scoring drives for Jordan McLeod that were 70 yards or more. It wasn't like it was a short field. It was just boom, boom, boom. Both times he was 4 for 4 right down the field. This one he ended with another touchdown pass to Ishmati, 15-yard touchdown reception. Bobcats are up big at the break, 34-3 at halftime. It's a party. It's a party at that time. People are losing their mind at halftime. I brought the Wizard I brought him 2 Diet Cokes because I'm up in the press box, all nice and comfy, air conditioning, food. It's great. The Wizard, he's in it. He's in the pit. He's down there on the sidelines, shooting every shot, getting hot, doing everything he can do while I'm nice and comfy. So the least I can do is bring him some sodas at halftime. I made sure to do it this time. And I ran into Savion Patton, which was great. Great to see Savion. He's still doing his thing, training up a bunch of players in Cuero, where he's from. But he's also, still doing USFL, obviously still going. He's doing a lot of great things. It was great to run into him. One of my favorite Bobcats. That era of Bobcat, that was a real tough breed. With all those losses, but some real salty defense. Savion Patton, another one from that era who I saw last night. Brian London, saw him on the way to the river jump. It's great to see these Bobcats that were here in these times where they didn't have a ton of success. They still come back and they share in the success because it still goes out to them as well. They played with a lot of pride during some down times for this program. So it's great to see all of them out there. Anyways, after halftime, we get into the second half in the third quarter, a 4-play, 69-yard drive for Texas State, 57-yard touchdown run for Torrance Burgess. That was the longest run of the season for Texas State. It was later beaten. We'll get to that one later in the game by Texas State. But a 57-yard touchdown rush by Torrance Burgess. Running backs, it was a great night for running backs. Ishmati, 2 touchdown receptions. Everyone's getting in the mix on this one. Mason Shipley, a little later in the third quarter, he's able to get that 40-yard field goal. That makes it 44-3 with 3:18 left in the third quarter. And then a beautiful play happened. Brad Jackson gets his first touchdown pass. And Drew Donnelly, I don't know. I should have looked this up. Was that his first touchdown as a Bobcat? Drew Donnelly is a transfer who came in. His dad was in the NFL last season. There was so much talk about him. Oh, it's either him or Malik Hornsby as the fastest guy on the team. He's still probably the fastest guy on the team, if not one of the fastest guys on the team. As you saw it on that screen, it was a screen pass from Brad Jackson. He didn't have to throw it very far for his first touchdown pass because Drew Donnelly caught it and took it the rest of the way, 60 yards to the house for Drew Donnelly. It's good to see for him. We talked a lot about these starting receivers and some of the immediate backups, and they haven't really dove deep into the depth at receiver, but Drew Donnelly was finally able to get out there and do something special. So that's 51-3. Well, that was 2 minutes left in the third quarter. So we go into the fourth quarter, 51-3. Bobcats are in cruise control, but Lincoln Perry, he says, you know what, I hadn't gotten mine yet. Everybody else seems to be getting in the end zone. Oh, Lincoln Perry needs his touchdown. 68-yard touchdown run for Lincoln Perry halfway through the fourth quarter. 68-yard touchdown run, longest of the season. Torrance Burgess's record only lasted for a little over a quarter before it was broken by Lincoln Perry. He broke that one, and he broke the Southern Miss Golden Eagles back as well. 58-3 with 7:56 left. Able to run out the clock. We got to see some PJ Hatter. He was able to get some rushing yards. They were able to just completely unload the bench, even on the offensive line. Seeing some Sully Burns. You seeing some guys you hadn't seen in a while. Bebo. Yeah, just some. It was nice for them to unload the bench. Like truly unload the bench for like a full fourth quarter where these guys are getting some real reps out there. Just an absolutely dominant performance by the Bobcats. They early, often, and always, they were all over the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And of course, like they do every time, all 2 times, they jumped in the river to celebrate. Bowl eligibility, 6th win means the Bobcats are going to have a postseason after so long of being FBS and not having a bowl game. They've done it 2 years in a row. GJ Kinney's done it 2 years in a row. Dr. Kelly Dampus, the president here, has completely galvanized this place. Don Coryell, the AD, has thrown all the support at the program, and it's paying dividends. And there was a ton of expectations going into the season. I had them at 10-2. I had them potentially competing for the Sun Belt, which, by the way, Louisiana lost on Saturday. It's not out of the equation. We'll get to there. There was so much expectation on this team that there was times where even feeling it from comments from y'all, and even how I would feel, where it felt like it was a disappointment, especially at like 4-4. It was like, man, what really happened here? And we've seen that pattern: 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins. And let's hope they get off that pattern. You know, it feels like they could with Georgia State coming up this week. But that felt so great. And we were saying it, Jordan McLeod, get right game. You know, really wanted him to have that for this one after those last 3 performances, dealing with injuries and everything. And he was able to do it, and he was able to rest for the second half. So that was great. That was awesome. He was also one of the first people to jump in the river, Jordan McLeod. I only note that because TJ Finley didn't go to the river jump last year. Just saying, not trying to create any friction or anything. Just pointing it out. Something I noticed when he was there. I liked that. But that river jump, that was great. Shout out to Dr. Dampus and Don Coryell. They set up. They had the media set up right. We had golf carts. And they told us, hey, there's going to be a shuttle right out of the stadium. When they're bowl eligible, you hop in, we'll give you a ride to the river, give you a ride back as well. And that's how it worked out. Everybody else had to walk. I felt kind of bad. We passed a lot of people, and I was like, I have healthy legs. I probably could have walked this, but that's okay. I also had a deadline, so that was very much appreciated. I was able to get my article in on time while still going to the river jump, because they jump in the river, and then we do the press conference afterwards. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering if I jumped in the river. I did not jump in the river. I actually got bailed out. It was fantastic. They did the press conference very quick after the river. They were trying to, it was getting pretty late, so getting everybody home. I was starting to get some peer pressure from Tavian Coleman to jump in the river. I was trying to hide in the corner a little bit so I could still document it, but not have anyone tell me to get in there. Or maybe one of these big football players throws me in there. We didn't want any of that. So yeah, I got bailed out. That press conference started. I had to go. Duty calls. I'm out. Stayed dry. It was fantastic. Sorry, everybody. I jumped in last year. This is for them. And this was a way bigger event. There were so many fans there. Other people made up for it for me. Okay. There's a lot of people jumping. I saw sicko Mike McDaniel. I didn't even realize it was him until he posted pictures, ripping the shirt off, jumping in there. Shout out to my guy Mike. I guess we were standing right next to each other. But I definitely saw you getting hype out there, Mike. Just didn't realize that was you. That's some good stuff. That was a lot of fun. It's awesome that they set this up and then continue to do it. I don't care what other people say. You saw it when they post the videos of it, the comments. Oh, way to make a lot out of mediocrity. Shut your mouth, man. Come on. All right, it's hard. It's hard to win in college football. Celebrate it when you get there. I 23-73. That was a record from 2015 to 2022. Celebrate it when you get it. It's rare when it happens, and it's here. Enjoy it. They deserve that. They deserve to jump in the river. I applaud the admins for setting it up and making it such a big event. There's lifeguards there. They had big lights on the water. It was great. It was great stuff. I really appreciated everything. And I also really like that GJ jumped in with his son Lincoln. The first people to jump in was GJ Kinney's son Lincoln. Asked him about it at the press conference. He said that Lincoln was saying he really wanted to do it so he could be in the video next year when they show the video. And I guess he was telling his dad, hey, maybe it's going to be me, you, and K-Damp. That we're going to be the first ones on the video next year. And it's a nice little anecdote, but all I could help thinking of is like, oh, next year, huh? Next year, everyone's gonna be back next year. It's good stuff. I like to hear that, especially seeing Baylor doing so hot. Shout out to Jake Spav. There you go, Baylor Bears. Way to go. Way to get it. Let's go through these stats, huh? Let's do it. Let's talk about this actual game. We have 703 total yards of offense, program record, as we said. I remember the last one, 696 yards against Prairie View A&M in 2014. Great year. Prairie View A&M used to play PVAMU a lot more. Panthers. 266 yards rushing, 32 rush attempts. Let's see, to 34 pass attempts. Beautiful. That's excellent. This is the first time I'm noticing that one, how close to 50-50 that is, with a slight lean to pass, not a ginormous one, but a slight one. Excellent. I love seeing that. Let's see what else we got. Let's go to individual stats. Actually, let's do that because we got to point out Jordan McLeod, 22 for 38. I'm sorry, 22 for 28. Almost short change. That's 82% completion percentage, not the whatever 23 for 38 is. It's 23 for 28, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Mostly in the first half. I think 4 yards he threw in the second half, because I had him at 331 yards in the first half. But that was a season high for him, which was kind of surprising. We went through his numbers, and he was the last 3 games. It hadn't really done a whole lot, especially with that injury coming at Louisiana. So for him to go out there and get his season high in the first half, imagine if they let him pop off in the second half. Might have been Cats by 90, as everybody likes to say. If Jordan McLeod had stayed in that second half, man, he might have 1,000 yards passing in that one. No, that's obviously exaggerating. Cole Wilson was his favorite target of the night, though. 6 catches, 116 yards, no touchdowns, but a ton of yards for Cole Wilson, just chunking it up. And then Joey Hobart got banged up, so they put Cole Wilson back to punt return. He did a really nice job. He had a really good return where he flipped it and put the Bobcats in Eagles territory on a punt return. That's really nice. After I was kind of hard on him for muffing some of those punts, but he did a terrific job. Joey Hobart, before he got hurt, 4 catches, 55 yards for him. Ish Mahdi, 4 catches, 45 yards, and 2 touchdowns out of the backfield. 71 yards on 3 catches and a touchdown for Jaden Williams. Connor Fox, 3 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. 3. Drew Donnelly, 1 catch, 60 yards. Chris Don, 2 for 4. We got to get Chris Don back in the mix. Remember how he was popping off quite a bit. Lincoln Perry, leading rusher with 74 yards. That's hilarious that he's the leading rusher in this game because he only had two attempts for 74 yards. One of them was that 68-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. Burgess had 4 rushes for 66 yards. So here you go. Their top 2 rushers, Lincoln Perry, 37 yards a carry. Torrance Burgess, 16 and a half yards a carry. PJ Hatter had 7 rushes for 45 yards when he got in there that fourth quarter. Brad Jackson, 3 for 32 and a touchdown. McLeod, 5 for 22. Deion Hankins, 8 for 14. Man, after that big week last week for Hankins, it wasn't going this time, but that's okay. And only 3 for 13 for Mahdi. But I mean, it's all nobody had 10 rushes. It was just that type of game where it was you're not playing everybody. Defensively, let's go over here defensively for the Bobcats. Leading tackler, James Neal. That's nice. It's the first time I've seen him leading that box score. I want to get to sacks, though. 3 sacks, 13 tackles for a loss. 3 sacks, 13 tackles for a loss. Let me see what that is in the Sun Belt because I do have that tab right here. Let's see. Sacks by second. Oh, no, tied with James Madison, 32 each. Both have played 10 games. Both have 32 sacks. Marshall's right there, 10 games, 31 sacks, but no one's within 10 after that. So those 3 squads are really getting after the quarterback. Yeah, they are. I don't know what they're. I'd have to look it up. It would take me a while. I have to go on the NCAA page, so I won't do it. But they're right up there nationally in TFLs as well. They might even be top 10 in TFLs. I feel like I saw that at some point, or they may have been like 6, 7, as high as that. I just didn't double check it myself on that one. But the Bobcats now, after last night, leading the Sun Belt in scoring, 35.6 points per game. They're just ahead of James Madison now. Defensively, they're just below James Madison. How about that? JMU and Texas State. Man, I still feel like that should be the Sun Belt championship game. That 23-16 game against Louisiana still bothers me. That could have won that. Let's move on. Let's move on. Bowl eligible. Nice win over Southern Miss. Second in the Sun Belt, allowing 20 points per game. It's pretty fantastic. We were talking about, some people ask about if the defense regressed, and it's definitely not. It's better. It's better than it was. It's not perfect, but I feel like it is better. And even talking with our great intern, Reese Largent, we're like, well, what is it? That's why I love sitting in this guy at the press box, He said he was like, they blitz a lot less. They're not blitzing as much this season. And he's right. The D line is a lot better. They don't need to blitz. They just line up 4 and send them. It is a little less blitzing, keeps them in coverage, But yeah, total yards on offense. Let's see. Let's look at this. The Bobcats are leading total yards of 470 yards per game for the Bobcats. That leads the Sun Belt by 18 yards. Louisiana is second there. The defense is second in total yards per game, 329.4 yards, total yards they are allowing per game. James Madison leads that category with 324. So just a 5-yard difference there. Standings as well. Let's look at the standings because that matters now because Louisiana, they lost to shout out to South Alabama, right? That was South Alabama. We're going to double check our work here. South Alabama, 24-22. That's right. Failed 2-point conversion at the end of it. I'm remembering it now. It's so now Louisiana still at the top spot in the West Division. Now, most of you know this, but we'll break it down for everybody. 14 teams in the Sun Belt, 7 are in the West, 7 are in the East. The top team in the East and the West, they will play after the regular season in the Sun Belt Championship at the home of the team that has the better record. So right now, Louisiana is on top of the Sun Belt West, so they would be the West Division representative in that Sun Belt Championship game. They are 8-2, 5-1, first loss in conference for them. They were rolling pretty heavily before that. Right below them, Texas State at 6-4, 4-2. Now 2 games left with those records. And Louisiana owning the tiebreaker with that 23-16 win. Louisiana would have to lose their next 2. The Bobcats would have to win their next 2. And then the Bobcats would be the West Division representative in the Sun Belt Championship game. because we're also right there, same exact record. Arkansas State, they are also 6-4, 4-2, just like Texas State, but they lost to Texas State 41-9. Remember that one? This team is good. There's those weird moments with Sam Houston, Louisiana, not even Louisiana. We're gonna put that in there, but ODU was who I meant to say there. That the Sam Houston ODU games are the big ones. Because even that Arizona State one, man, they were in there till like 5-6 minutes left, and then it was just a cavalcade of turnovers. But then South Alabama's right there too, 5-5, 4-2. South Alabama, especially after that nice win of Louisiana. That's who the Bobcats in their season at Louisiana on a Friday after Thanksgiving. That's going to be a tough game. My preseason prediction, I had them losing that one. I want to be more positive. I want to think positively with that one because pretty sure they're gonna handle Georgia State next week. Georgia State is 2-8, 0-6 in conference. It would be a massive. They're on a 7-game losing streak. It'd be a massive upset. Back-to-back weeks of playing teams on a 7-game losing streak. That's pretty fortunate for the Bobcats. But there is a world where the Bobcats are still playing in that Sun Belt championship. It's not completely out of the equation. It is very difficult, though. We will say that. Yeah, that'll wrap it up on that game. It was a beautiful game. It's an awesome moment, a beautiful night, full moon, nice weather, excellent stuff. I mentioned Josh Langhorst on the last episode. Got to meet him and his wife. Gave him a koozie. Chatted with them for a while at the I think it was the Tea Association tailgate. The school bus right by the front. That was really cool. Ran into my guy Eddie Galvin. I always do that at halftime, running into Eddie. It's always awesome seeing y'all. Saw Rianne at the river jump again. Of course, Rianne, one of our great sickos, our great listeners. She even won the TGC ticket contest. Shout out to Don Yo, by the way, for winning those tickets. He said he was really enjoying that. We got one more of those. Look out for that TGC ticket contest. I saw Rianne last year at the river jump. I saw Rianne this year. Wish I saw Tom Madden. That's who I saw last year at the river jump. Wish I'd caught him again this year. That's one of the biggest Bobcat fans out there. But it was an amazing night. It's great stuff. Go Bobcats. Eat them all the way up. Way to represent on homecoming and show out for that crowd. 22,000 for that crowd. Not the biggest that they've had this season, but still pretty big. When 22,000 is on the lighter side around here, things are going well. I like that. Shout out to the Bobcats. What a time. Good stuff. Don't forget our watch party. Not watch party. What is it? On location show. We're doing it at Zelix Ice House this Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Come on out if you're out there. Come check us out. Oh, this episode was brought to you by TGC LLC, the GalindoCollective.com. That's GALINDO, GalindoCollective.com. A team of professional consultants dedicated to helping others realize their business potential through people, planning, and practice. Their services cover a wide range of areas such as business strategy, marketing, human resources, and financial planning. If you own property or a business and want to maximize its profitability, contact TGC at thegalindocollective.com and follow their social media platforms on Twitter at TGC_LLC and on Instagram and Facebook at The Galindo Collective. Shout out to my guy, Rick Galindo, a true Tech State sicko, a Tech State grad. He's been sponsoring us since last season, all through the offseason, got us to Sunbelt Media Day in New Orleans over summer, hooking us up with tickets to give to y'all. Cannot thank Rick Galindo enough for believing in this pod, believing in what we do over here at Win Now or Get Bit. Shout out to Rick Galindo. Been too long since I've seen you, my guy. Can't wait till the next time I get to see you again, but we really appreciate you donating your tickets for our great contest that we're having. Oh, and one more for our guys at Chilsey. I had to find the Tumblr for a quick second. Chilsey, if you're watching on the Win Now or Get Bit YouTube, you can see me holding up this awesome tumbler with the Mad Cat right there on it. You can get any custom logo you want on these, anything you want to put on a work insignia, anything you got. Start your own pod and do one. There you go. And you can order them from Chilsey. You order 6 or more of these tumblers and you punch in Bobcats at the checkout. These bad boys are only $15 a piece, which is a great deal. They're great tumblers, great quality. And on top of that, they also have Koozies. Bang. Watch it on the YouTube channel. You see me holding up a bunch of koozies, bunch of different kinds of koozies, custom koozies, all kinds of colors. You put whatever logo you want in there. You got white, black, camo, American flag, snakeskin. That's pretty sweet. I don't think I've really noticed that snakeskin before. Well, we got lots of koozies. And hey, my guy Dennis Redding, shout out to Dennis Redding, hooking me up with these koozies. We've been doing it since last season. I love handing them out to you sickos. Dennis, we might need some more for the last game. Just one big push for that. I'll reach out to you on that one. But shout out to chillzy.com, CHILLZEY.com. Go check them out. And check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/win-now-or-get-bent. The boy genius, Reese Largent. He's a smart kid. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, that's a sharp kid. He's real quiet. He's real sharp. It's kind of what you know. You got a lot of blowhards like me, not the most educated individuals. It's usually the more reserved, quiet people. I appreciate that about our guy, Reese. He is also putting out that great content. Check it out on patreon.com/win-now-or-get-bent. We're going to do big things with that Patreon in the off season. It's been a wild year for all of us at Win-Now-or-Get-Bent. Obviously, children being born in my life, everything going on with everyone else's life going on, and it's gonna settle quite a bit. And we are more motivated than ever to continue to elevate this thing that we do here. So look out for that. Patreon.com/win-now-or-get-bent. Check out our merch site, WNOGB.com. I'm wearing the old school Mad Cat shirt right here, the OG one. Love that one. Go check that out. WNOGB.com. Check out our YouTube channel, Win-Now-or-Get-Bent. Check out our Twitter at Win-Now-or-Get-Bent. On Instagram at WNOGB. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you consume this podcast. Let them know that that's where you're listening and that's where you enjoy hearing your pods. And give us a good comment. It doesn't have to be positive. It can be negative. It can be informative. Constructive criticism. Always welcome. Thank you to First Lockhart National Bank. Thank you to McNabb. Thank you to Austin Patchmaster. Thank you to TGC. And thank you to Chillzy, the great wizard, Zachary Webb. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for his cinematic recap. He was out there working hard. Like I said, I had to bring him 2 Diet Cokes at halftime just to keep him fueled. Call that wizard fuel. That's what Diet Coke is. It's actually Coke Zero, what he prefers, but they don't take orders in the press box. But that's got him his wizard fuel, and he was able to power through that game and get an awesome cinematic recap. That'll be coming out very soon. Look out for that one. And thank you to Reese Largent, working hard, doing great stuff. What a fun season for him to jump on board with us. And of course, thank you to you sickos, all you Texas State fans, you rabid Texas State fans. You've been foaming at the mouth, waiting for this time for Texas State. You always know it could be there. You always know that sleeping giant could one day wake up, and it's here. It's awake. It's out of its slumber, and it's fumbling around, baby. Well, not fumbling, thumping around. We're not fumble. We can't fumble. We got to thump around. This is a football pod. What is it that Webb said last year? The giant is awake, and it's here to drink all your beer. That's what he said. Always like that one. Shout out to the wizard once again. Okay, everybody. That'll do it. Thanks for tuning in. Bowl eligible. Oh, man, it feels so good. Back-to-back years bowl eligible. Win now or get bent.